The end result heading into tomorrow, as Sanders battles expectations, the moderates have been battling each other.
We have a newcomer in the White House, and look where it got us. I think having some experience is a good thing.
The way that we win is to offer a new voice, a new perspective, and leave the politics of the past in the past.
The politics of the past, I think, were not all that bad. So I don't know what about the past of Barack Obama and Joe Biden was so bad.
The biggest risk we could take at a time like this would be to go up against that fundamentally new challenge by trying to fall back on the familiar.
He's been the mayor of a city smaller than the city we're in now. And so what has he done? Who has he pulled together? Does he know any of the foreign leaders?
He did try running once in Indiana statewide, and he lost by over 20 points, and that's just a fact.
Today, though, it felt as if some of the candidates toned down their criticisms. My colleague Kristen Welker spoke to Biden this afternoon and asked him if he was worried his attacks on Buttigieg in particular may have actually backfired a bit.
Not at all.
Buttigieg may have backfired?
It didn't backfire at all. Look, what I did, I responded to his attacks on me. He said, basically, Barack Obama and I didn't do much at all. The problem started before this president became president. We did a pretty good job.
Are you concerned there's too much infighting?
Yeah, but from the beginning, look, you've covered this from the beginning. Who has had more attacks sent to them than anybody in the race by a factor of 5? Me. Because I've been the front runner, remain the front runner nationally. I got a target on my back. There are certain things you got to clarify, though. The constant assertion, like Bernie saying, I have baggage. I have baggage because of a vote he picks. Well, talk about baggage. I mean, he's a good guy, but let's be realistic. I'm just responding to the assertions and attacks that have been made that, in fact, are not accurate. They're not true.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.